Hello guys, just a quick poke. I was going to do a bit of a recap on the situation. One sec. I was going to do a bit of a recap on the situation, like from the beginning, for the newbies, because I think there's quite a few actually, new people who don't really know. There's a lot of a lot of things they're not sure about. So I thought I'd try my best and explain from the beginning. We'll start again from the beginning. So, pardon me. I've been a bit busy today. I've had quite a lot on. But I thought I'd squeeze this in now. Pardon me. One sec. Let me just build a roll up. Important thinking. That's an important thinking material. I was going to give up, but I give up all the time. I give up for like 3 years and 2 years, and I go to the gym, get a six pack, get built, eat healthy, and then 3 or 4 years later, I'll just have a roll up, and then I'm back smoking again, and it kind of goes like that for me in cycles. But when I go, when I pardon me, when I met Christian, I gave up the idea of giving up. You don't need to. I was concerned that smoking maybe would affect ascension, or you'd think all these sort of things before knowing this information. You would think you would put ascension in a religious context. Of course you would, because what else have we? What other paradigm is there to slot it into? Ascension. It's got to be something to do with God. Pardon me. But not so. So hang on. So basically, 8,000 years ago, pretty much, just a little bit under, I believe, 5 species of highly benevolent, highly malevolent, aggressive ETs came in 8,000 years ago. 6,000 years ago is what we call the cradle of civilization, which was Sumero-Babylonia, which was the first 100 of civilization's requirements. First writing, first sewerage, first schools, first plumbing, first mathematics, first physics, first everything. The first 100 things that a society would need sprang up out of the desert in Sumero-Babylonia about 6,000 years ago. Well, 2,000 years before that, there was 5 parasites turned up with a bunch of ancient demons, and they took control of the planet. They put in a firmament. There's 2, realm 1 and realm 2, separated by an ice wall each, an ice ring and a firmament. They turned up, they flooded the realm 2, flooded the whole of the realm with the water from realm 1. That created a big circular area, that they then that was frozen, flooded and then frozen. They kept a ring, put a fake ring in the middle, sectioning off this little bit, what we call the known lands, what you've been told is on a spinning ball. All of that is in a little flat plane in the middle of the other flat disc, in the middle. They kept the ice ring in place. They thawed out everything else. That was the Great Flood. So you've got 2 great floods. You've got the Great Flood when the water came in. You've got a Great Flood when they froze. They thawed the ice and let the water back out. 2 great floods. Atlantis is the other side of the ice wall in realm 2. It wasn't even in this realm when it happened. Atlantis isn't going to be found in here. You ain't going to find it in here because it's at the other side of the ice wall. So they needed to freeze us. They needed to get rid of the bodies that we were in. The vessels that we were in were 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th density. Tall, 9 foot tall plus. For a lot of people here, the Taran souls that were here, their vessel was the latest off the production line of vessels created by the Acton, who are a species of ET that created our original vessels. The original vessels. The Acton are the master geneticists. They make all the life for all of the realms. They are the ones in charge of making shit. So they'll make all the life. And that's what evolution is. Is species being introduced to a sealed system. There is no evolution, and evolution's done in a laboratory. Always. There is no natural evolution. It doesn't happen anymore. It did do billions of years ago. It doesn't now. So we were all in highly advanced vessels, 8 foot, 9 foot, 10 foot tall, athletic, built like brick shithouses. We were very competent, very capable. We was in at least a 5th density ether. A 5th density ether means you can use your telepathy. We had a huge pineal gland. We don't have our pineal glands now. You see what they done when they come here? They had to get us, the human soul, they had to put that in a vessel that they could control. So over the last 7,000 years, the last 6,000 years, they've been downsizing us in height, speed, ability, longevity. Our pineal gland has been shrunk. We've got all sorts of bits and bobs that we haven't got. Sorry, there's all sorts of missing stuff that we don't have in these vessels. We haven't got the ability to use our pineal gland because we don't even have an ether. The ether that we have has been replaced with loosh, basically the loosh energy of what a demon wants to eat, which is why the circuit board cities, like I said before, the circuit board cities layouts back home, that's called a capitale. Yeah, a capitale is a city. Yeah, but what they've done here is you've given everyone a capital city. It's not just the capitals. This is just the name for the city, the capitale. Yeah, normally it would be a capital. We call it a capital city, but the city layout, the way that the cities and streets are designed, and the way the whole thing works together, is like a circuit board. They bank the energy from the fear of the physical manifestation of pain and suffering. They bank the energy, not just from that. They bank the energy from you having a row with your missus. They bank the energy from you punching the neighbour in the mouth because he's a twat. They bank the energy from you sitting on the M25 in traffic for 6 hours, angry, busting for a piss. All of this anger and energy is all banked. They don't miss a fucking crumb of it, yeah? So you get in the kids, you have an interview in the morning with a doll. All of this insecurity, uncertainty, all of the emotions that you're having are not positive emotions. Therefore, that energy, whether you like it or not, is being banked. Yeah, the whole point of you having the frustration that you have with the DSS, with the housing, with whoever, the whole point of it, yeah, is to create that loose energy. And to keep you, not just that, it's not the only reason, is to keep you always worried, always thinking, you have to have your mind flicking from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. Got to take the kids to school, got to get the fucking dogs vaccinated, got to pay the rent on the car, got to pay the mortgage, got to pay the TV licence, got to worry about the interest, got to worry about death tax, got to worry about dying, got to worry about everything you've got to worry about. The more you've got to worry about, the less chance there is of you working anything out or having the time to even give a fuck to work anything out. That's why, yeah, they need the loosh, which they're getting when they're getting it en masse from the people in the lower end of society, you know, people in third world countries. To be honest, they tend to be more happy people in third world countries that don't have a pot to piss in. But people in industrialised countries that don't have a pot to piss in, well, their lives are shit. Look at any council estate around the world, around any industrialised country. The people all have the same problems, they're just in different countries, and it's just slightly different problems, but it's all the same. And it all comes down to money, finance. Haven't got the time to do what you want, haven't got the money to do what you want. It's always something to do with that, you know. So when they turned up, yeah, they needed to get rid of us. They needed to take the souls out of every living thing here, yeah? Keep the soul and get rid of the vessel, because they were changing the fifth density simulation into a third, because these beings are in fourth density. They can't control anything above fourth density. They did for a millisecond when they turned up, but that was a surprise attack, and there was millions and millions of them. Not much that anyone could have done. So what they had to do was change the simulation to a simulation that's never been used before, because we've never bothered having one. Since realms were created and gateways and all of this stuff was created with technology, evolution was brushed to one side. It didn't need to happen anymore. So it's all done with technology. So when the beings turned up, they couldn't have us. They needed to, like I just said, they needed to take us out of this vessel and put us in a shit third density vessel. One of them had never been made before, never been created. One evolved naturally, billions and billions and billions of years ago. Naturally it evolved, but it's never happened since, because we went from that straight to fifth density plus. Yeah, all the realms are created a minimum of fourth density. There's no third density. There's no point having third density, because in third density you don't have an ether. It's a shit ether, but now we've got loose energy instead of an ether. That's been changed. I'll come to that after. So we don't have an ether, we haven't got our pineal gland, so we can't communicate with telepathy, and that was by design as well, and that's what the Paleolithic period was. The Paleolithic period, or what we refer to as the Paleolithic period, was them downsizing us, trying to work out a good human vessel to put this soul in so that they can harvest it for adrenochrome. So the Paleolithic period was multiple different species of hominids, yeah, Cro-Magnon, Neanderthal, Heidelbergensis, all of these different hominids that they've said that we found, yeah, they reckon they've found. These are all test phases of different hominids, different blood groups, different hominids, different. They needed to create a situation where we can talk, because no one really talks back home. No one's ever made a third density vessel before, like these shit ones. Yeah, even though this one is pretty fucking amazing, I'll be honest with you, but generally they're shit. All right, it's a bit overweight, but I'm joking. So basically, they needed to put us in a vessel that had never been created before. So that was the Paleolithic. They needed to create a semi-intelligent being that was capable of reproduction and talking and forming social bonds, cultures, civilizations, and infrastructure. Now that was the remit. There you go. Go and sort that out. So that's what they did. That's what the Paleolithic period was. Downsizing us from our original. So they took our normal DNA, yeah, and then they fucked around with it to get this, and that is suitable for a third density simulation, right? To live and reproduce, yeah, because the whole point is that we reproduce en masse and we make lots of children, because there's only a window of opportunity for them to harvest between the age of 3 and 16. There's no point looking for adrenochrome someone older than 16, because they have a different understanding of fear. They're more likely to get angry than scared. Yeah, someone 17, 18, 19, they're more likely to get angry than afraid when they're being tortured, and that's not right. They need the fear. So a child under the age of 3 doesn't recognise fear as such. They're terrified of everything. A little baby under 3 is pretty much terrified, or can be, by anything. When they've got more of an understanding of what a happy face is, what a sad face is, what good is, what bad is, then it's ripe. Between that age, 3 years old roughly, and 15 years, 9 months, funny enough, when you get a national insurance number, because that's when your adrenochrome worthiness drops off. That's when they start trading on you, because the only way they can make any money out of you is after your age 15 years, 9 months old, is through the birth certificate scam, which we'll come to later. I've been through that before, but we'll go through it again. Why not? Okay. So, the dinosaurs, the reason the dinosaurs are fake is because it's a multi-billion-pound industry, the dinosaur industry and Diplodocus and all this fucking shit and all the films and all the Jurassic Park and all the spin-offs. Multi-billion-pound industry, fossils and dinosaurs. Only 3% of dinosaurs are real, because after they flooded the Rome and froze it and thawed it, 2 great floods, Ice Age, yeah, they thawed it out, there were still people about. There were still very advanced vessels running about, yeah, that can do stuff. Yeah, they can't have that. So they invented a load of dinosaurs, not even that many. A few hundred dinosaurs run about like velociraptors. Any meat-eating dinosaur that was fast, yeah, that's a real dinosaur, because that's what they were made for. They were created to kill us, yeah. They run about and eat us like a velociraptor. You can imagine. It's like sharks on land with feet, yeah. So they run around killing the rest of the vessels. The souls, because they've put another firmament in, all the souls that died since the moment they turned up, all of them souls, yeah, they go into the sun, as you would do, yeah, which is the portal back home to source creation. But since they turned up 8,000 years ago, put this fake firmament in, they put an amnesia vortex on the back of the sun, so that when you die, you go into the light at the end of the tunnel, yeah, which is the portal back to source creation. You go back to the celestial lands, mince about there for a bit, and then you can go back to source, yeah, and then get reborn with all your memories. Normally, that don't happen no more. Not since, well, it does now, but not since 8,000 years. No one's been back to source creation. No one's gone back home to source after they died. It hasn't happened, not to any soul, not even to a blade of grass. It hasn't happened to a soul in anything, yeah. It's all been looping back here. Like a blade of grass will be another blade of grass. A tree will be another tree, yeah, that sort of thing. But the souls, who, you see, there's a lot of synthetics here, a lot of clones, a lot of hybrids, a lot of clones. Did I just say clones? Yeah, clones, synthetics and hybrids. A lot of those here, as I've said before in a few other videos, and Christian discusses at length. See, these things haven't got a soul in, yeah? So a clone doesn't have a soul. I said it before the other day, but I'll say it again now. So when they sacrifice people, families, individuals, whoever, they take their stem cells, they take some cells from the body and store them, yeah? They might use them immediately, or they might store them indefinitely, whatever. They clone people that they've killed, put them back out into the public, age progress them, put them back out into the public. Now, these people can't remember anything before the age of 20. They've got no recollection of anything that happened before the age of 15, yeah? They don't have any childhood memories. These people, yeah? Like that black geezer said in that thing the other day, geezer's well switched on. So there's loads of these people walking about on the face of the earth, having jobs, bringing up families, because clones and synthetics can reproduce. Then the parasites aren't going to have a situation where they're getting rid of people without something good happening. So they're going to put the person, good for them. They're going to put they've got the added benefit that the person they've just killed at sacrifice, the soul goes into the sun, comes straight back out into the next available human vessel of the same sex as is normal. Yeah. Normal for the last 8,000 years. And then they've got the added benefit that they clone the person, age progress them, put their conscious, because they've saved their consciousness. Yeah, they show you that in films as well. Like, you know, as one, Flight of the Navigator, they show the boy getting downloaded stuff into his head, loads of images really quickly. When they're showing you things like that, images getting taken out or put into someone's head, that's showing you how they do this. They take the consciousness, that's the consciousness, what they're showing you, and they save that on a hard drive, a highly advanced hard drive. So when they've got your clone, yeah, or another million clones, they can put that same consciousness into everyone. They can all have the same consciousness, and that's just one person that died at sacrifice 20 years ago. Yeah, oh, he uses Kevin Monkberry. Let's use his consciousness for this one. So they put that consciousness in one clone, 50 clones, 2,000 clones. So there's no point. The point I'm getting at, there's no point harvesting. Going to all the trouble of kidnapping a clone or a synthetic and trying to get a dreamer cone out of it, or trying to get you know, there's no point to it, because it hasn't got a soul in it. So they need to keep track of everything. So when a soul dies, goes into the amnesia vortex, downloads all its memories, what the Draco want. They want the memories and the experience and the knowledge, just like Source Creation wants. They've got their own little version going off, their own negative little Source Creation thing going off, because they're fucking idiots. But that's by neither here nor there. So basically, they download the consciousness. The person comes out with no memories whatsoever, completely reformatted soul. Normally that wouldn't happen. Normally you've got full past life recall of all of your past lives, right back to the first one you ever had, billions of years ago, normally. But since they come here, that's not been the case. So when they put someone, when someone dies and comes out of the sun, we thought before, because like I say, Christians, this is from Christians' memories, right? So what happens is his memory, it gets better. Other things he sees will release bits more memory. You know how it goes. When you, after a while, you think, shit, yeah, I remember more about that. Yeah, just a natural part of the thought cycle. So previously we thought that there would be a lot of souls waiting to get in to a newborn baby, but that ain't the case. What happens is, because of the situation with the clones and synthetics and the hybrids, they need to know whose soul is who, because there's no point harvesting a synthetic or a clone. Yeah, there's no point. You might as well have a real soul, yeah, one that you can properly terrify. Much better adrenochrome. So they need to know where their stock is, just like they tag sheep's ears, you know, with a plastic thing in, you know, bison and that or whatever. Yeah, that's what they do to us. So we are logged from the moment you're born. You're monitored and logged, and also they when your vessel's born, the soul that's about to enter it, you basically, your consciousness and what makes you, that is escorted, yeah, by probably a couple of greys or technology. Yeah, will make sure that that soul goes to that particular woman. Yeah, so it's not a feeding frenzy of souls trying to get into a vessel quick. We thought it was before, but that ain't. It's evolved since then. The thought, yeah, the understanding of it has evolved, and that's what happens. So because they need to know where the souls are going. They need to know rich souls, poor souls. You know, they've got the 3 class systems. Those souls are always kept separate. Where normally they're kept separate. So you'll always be working class. You'll always be elite. You'll always be, you know, at the bottom of society. They'll make sure that that soul always stays there. There's lots of different reasons they might want to do that. They might really dislike you. You might have pissed them off in the past, and they know who you are. They know where you are, and they want to make sure that the rest of your incarnations forever are proper shit. You'll never be in a position, because of looking glass technology and how they use it. It's an automated system. They don't have to sit there typing details in about you and what they want you. No. It's all done with consciousness and telepathy and interaction with the technology. So that can all take care of itself. That's how come no one will ever bump into their twin flame here. No one here has been with their soulmate for 8,000 years, because they can't have that, because it's too much. What if one woke the other one up? You could have latent memories start coming out in one twin flame that triggers more in the twin flame, and then people are going to start working shit out, because 2 twin flames together are powerful, and they're well aware of that. That's why they've made sure that never happens. So yeah, they needed to downsize us because they needed to control us, right? And then basically that's why everyone has a bit of baseline telepathy. We've all got a little tiny bit, but there's no ether to use it with, so there isn't really much point in it. You know what I mean? Because we can't. If we had a pineal gland that isn't burnt and fluoridated to fuck with poisons and toxic food, the fluoride in the tap water calcifies the pineal gland, which is your spiritual apparatus, which is how you communicate with the ether normally. Yeah, but because we don't here. See, another thing. One of the things that happened when the occupation started was when when the Greys turned up, they were given orders to cut down. See, the mountains, Mount Everest and that, were 3 times higher than that. All the big mountains in the world went right up into the sky, like fucking hundreds of miles up into the sky. What, I don't know about hundreds, but 3 or 4 times the size they are now. They actually connect. The mountain's purpose, as was the giant trees, is to bring the ether, the energy from the ether, down into the ground. So that's what these things were doing. They were earthing the ether. So the ether is the energy that's in the sky, that is like electromagnetic waves. It's the aurora borealis normally. And if you notice now, the aurora borealis is much more vibrant, much more vivid, much more colour than we've ever seen it, ever. Yeah, and that's because it's a new ether for the new simulation. Yeah, because we're going into a fifth density simulation in a minute. Yeah, when this happens, the EMF is going to take us from third density to fifth density, skipping fourth because dickheads in fourth. There's nothing in fourth going on. A few dragons that eat meat, a couple of other fucking mincing things that don't look great, and they're not great. So there's no fourth density. It's a pointless place to go. There is going to be fourth density healing realms for people that haven't dealt with this yet, because you can't have someone with fucking mincing about like Clark Kent who's pissed off and depressed that they ain't got crypto. Yeah, you can't have fucking the Incredible Hulk who didn't realise he was the Incredible Hulk having a tantrum in the corner because he's lost his Rolex. Do you know what I mean? Because that's going to happen. There's going to be fucking people losing it left, right and centre. But don't worry, because the ETs, the benevolents, have got it well sewn up. They've known about this for 1,800 years. This plan was put into practice. So they've been well anticipating how many people are going to lose it. And that's most of them. Not said yesterday, that's why there's a need for a lockdown. People say there ain't going to be a lockdown. Fucking hell, no, there is going to be a lockdown. Big time. A big one, yeah? So, yeah. So the few resets in, 4 or 5 resets, they started to get the hang of what they were doing, how they were working it. They've had advanced civilizations. They've had loads and loads of advanced civilizations with high technology. Yeah, they just get mind wiped and reset, and then the same technology is given back to them. So here you go, there's the plans. You see if you build that, it's a crystal radio. Crack on with that. Yeah, and that costs children. If you want the plans to make an umbrella, it costs children. Not literally an umbrella, but what I'm saying is any advance in technology that's going to help the planet as a whole, for whatever reason, if they can't earn money out of it, you ain't getting it. Yeah, basically, not a chance. And it's going to be bad for you, or bad for the environment, and it's going to be shit. Yeah, because they don't want you having good technology. That's why it's taken us so long to, look at what happened when that Roswell crash happened in 1947, which was 5 discs, not 3, had a load of human body parts on it. I said this before, I don't want to bore anyone. But that was for a lot of different reasons. It was to scare people and put in the idea in people's minds that, oh, wow, maybe ETs eat people because there was a load of human body parts in it. Partly truth in plain sight, because, yes, they do eat people. There's a lot of reasons. So that's how they give you technology. So we would have given them a fuck-off amount of children, 5-10 million children, and then they go and go, okay, here's the next fucking 20 years worth of research. They'll crash a few discs on purpose. There's no accidents in 4th density either. There is in 3rd, but not in 4th or 5th plus. They don't have accidents. So there isn't a chance of an ET spaceship crashing because we use some shit technology to bring it down like scalar waves. Ain't going to happen. They've crashed the discs, and so then we got fibre optics, we got the circuit board, we got night vision, we got Kevlar. That's just 4 things that we got from the Roswell crash. Now that wasn't free. That cost a lot of children, probably 9 million plus children for that. Yeah, and they don't even give you the items. They'll crash a UFO, and you've got to spend 20, 30 years back engineering it all before you can get something to make money out of and sell the public back a shit version of. Yeah, like all of it, like fibre optics. They're much better. I mean, it's a load of bollocks. Like, the idea for the circuit board came from Roswell, yeah, and it's given to big tech, big pharma. All these different things will be given. If it's big pharma, it'll be something to do, with medication, or what can we? Oh, look, they've given us this from the crashed ET spaceship. It's some new element. Oh, maybe we can make them ill with that, yeah, or maybe we can pretend that we're curing cancer with that, but actually, yeah, all that sort of stuff. So that's how that's how the elite bloodlines get their shit. Yeah, is from stupid things like that, like them just tossing a few sweets out the sky, yeah, to Recording will be stopped and saved. Oh, don't be silly. Oh, I don't think it's stopped it, is it? No, it hasn't. That was a call coming. Sorry, in case you're wondering what I'm doing. I can't be bothered to get it. I'll get it after. So they throw a few sweets down out the sky, and we've got to back engineer it for like 20, 30 years to work out what it is. That's how we get the technology. So then companies like EMI, Toshiba, whoever, all the deep space special access projects, USAP, unacknowledged special access projects, all the people, like IBM, all of whatever they're doing, they'll be given, like, there's a component, work on that. 20 years later, you've got like the circuit board or whatever, that sort of thing. That's how it works. That's how we get technology. No one invented nothing. We live in the Truman Show, a very, very expensive version of the Truman Show. A very expensive version of the Truman Show, because what is at stake here for them is their biggest asset. Here, called the known lands, what you think is a spinning ball in 2/3 of the way out of a spiral galaxy in an average universe, in an average galaxy, is it's we're here for food. We're here for food. We're not here to have a good time. The idea is that you think you're having a good time and you think you're making choices and thinking for yourself, but you're not. Yeah. That's the idea. That the illusion is that you are in control of your own life and destiny. Well, the reality is you're actually here for food. You're here to be eaten or to produce something that's going to be eaten. That's to break it down into its simplest forms. That's what was going on for 8,000 years, in case anyone forgot. Because that's why it doesn't matter if it's happening on Wednesday or the 5th of November, the 9th of November, the 1st of December. It doesn't fucking matter. It's been going on for 8,000 years and you want an accurate day that it's going to all end. Well, don't be a prick. Yeah, think about it. It's about children being tortured and harvested and sacrificed. It's not about gold and silver and the forgiveness of all debt and fucking won't it be lovely kumbaya. Yeah, because it ain't. When people realise, that God is a load of bullshit. Part of the fucking control mechanism and the reason that you think the QFS is real is because of God. God ain't going to help no one when this shit hits the fan in a minute. God is going to be nowhere to be seen. Run away like a pussy. In fact, God was executed. They executed God fucking, I don't know, 1,000 years ago or something. Because he's a fucking nonce. Yahweh, the person whose name is stamped on the end of the telomere caps of your DNA, God eternal within the body, Yahweh, was an Anunnaki Luciferian child-killing paedophile. Now he's been executed, so he ain't going to come and save anyone. So there's no point praying when the UFOs start rocking up in the sky. There's no point getting a prayer mat out and start trying to contact Allah, God, Buddha, anyone, because they're not there to help you. They're total fake fiction. Yeah, Yahweh was real, but he was eating children. Yeah, he was Baal's mate. There's no point praying to him, or Jesus, Cesare Borgia. No point praying to him. No, that's pointless. Ain't going to help. Anyway, sorry. I'll get wound up with that God. God's a prick. Fucking God. Jesus Christ. You should even say that. Jesus, you know what I mean? That's how tightly woven it is into society. But, so when the education system, the banking system got going first, in the 1500s, late 1400s. Well, I think the Knights Templar started in around, I think that's so they say, it was about 900 and something AD when there was originally 9 of them. The Holy Order of the Poor Knights of Christ. There was 9 Knights Templar. It was something like 100 years. There was only 9. So the story goes. Probably bullshit, but this is the only available story there is. And there was 9, and they protected the pilgrim routes from Europe, between Europe and the Holy Land, Jerusalem. Yeah, apparently. But while they were there, they were looking for stuff and artifacts and this, that, the other that was probably put there before the last reset. That's why they hid it. Yeah, the whole biblical narrative is not true. None of it is. Most of it, over 99% of the Bible, all of them, is bullshit. Yeah, all of it, all of them. Yeah, 95%. There's probably 5% truth. And you've got to dig for that. That is not obvious truth. Yeah, that will be hidden truth. Yeah, or just because all the whole Jesus narrative, that's all fake. That's all didn't happen. There was no Muhammad. Muhammad didn't even exist as a person. That's all fake. All fake. To give you some idea of the depth of this, sorry to upset anyone, but it is what it is. Tough shit. Deal with it. Reality's reality. Reality isn't a set of situations in flux that you can decide what you want when the fucking feeling takes you. Reality's reality, and this is reality. There are no gods. There's no Jesus. There's no Muhammad. There's no anyone. Yeah. So don't worry about painting a picture of him because he didn't even exist. So that's how serious this is. You look at all of the Muslim faith, there's fucking billions of them. Look at all the Catholics, look at all of the Christians. Look at them, there's fucking billions of them. Alright, 40% of them don't even have a soul. They're clone synthetics or hybrids. Well, they're hybrids, they're clones or synthetics in the public. Yeah, mostly. Hybrids may not even know they're hybrids, they won't. They probably don't know they're hybrids. They might have noticed something wrong with one of their eyes if they see a couple of slits here and there, but often they won't know. Unless they don't need it to know. If they're required, they'll be used, and that's how it is. As is everyone. Like I say, we're not here for the betterment of our species or leaving the sun before it, leaving the planet before the sun goes supernova, because it ain't gonna. Everything's a technology. The sun is also a technology. It's liquid crystalline plasma technology. The sun is made from the same material as the firmament, which is made from the same material as the Great Cube. Now, the cube that houses, so basically, said before, space. Forget everything what anyone ever said about space. It's absolute bullshit. That's not what space is. Space is a very powerful electromagnetic field fields, plural, yeah, and they're rippling through the blanket of space. That is space, powerful electromagnetic fields. There's nothing in it. There's nothing. There's no solid matter in there. It's just powerful magnetic fields and wormholes. So the only naturally occurring thing in the universe, and there's nothing spinning, no celestial spheres, nothing going round and round, none of that, no orbits, no slingshot orbits, no nothing like that. It's all bullshit. The only thing that there are is naturally occurring wormholes, which are stable wormholes that go through it's vast. The universe is vast, but the electromagnetic field that is space is dark matter. That's what dark matter is. So when I say they tell you a little bit of truth, there you go. Dark matter's real, and they said dark matter can't be found, but it takes up 99% of the universe. That's right. That's right. That's the one bit of truth that they said. Yeah, dark matter takes up 99.9% of the universe. And it is nothing, and you can't see it. It's a powerful magnetic field. If you was to walk into it, it would strip your body into a trillion, quadrillion pieces. At the angstrom level, you would demolecularize. That's how powerful it is. So what happens is a naturally occurring wormhole, which are the only naturally occurring things in the universe. Everything else is synthetic. They've just got this immense, powerful magnetic field, yeah. And you've got wormholes that are stable, that will always be there, yeah. Now, what you do is what a gateway is. So when we say we're in Sector 21, Christian, for instance, Christian 21, Gateway 10, yeah, that's Sector 21 of the universe, and this is Gateway 10 in Sector 21. Now, Sector 21 might have 250 gateways, might have 1,000 gateways, I don't know, but it's going to have a lot more than just this, yeah? So this is Sector 21, Gateway 10. There could be 100, say there's 100 gateways. So a gateway, a gateway is, at the end of one of these naturally occurring wormholes, yeah, they build a cube. It's fucking huge. It's forget how many miles, trillions of miles in each direction. Now this gargantuan cube is going to hold a lot more great worlds, great domes, yeah? So for instance, in this gateway in Gateway 10, we've got the Dome of Sheol, the dome, this is not what they're called out there, but for the sake of the argument, we call them, yeah? So Dome of Sheol, Dome of Forgotten Gods, Dome of Titans, the Great Dome itself, and there's another dome in there. So that will be Gateway 10, holds like 5 fucking big domes. Massive, yeah? And then each of them is in its own cube. So each of them great domes, like we've got our Great Dome houses 178 worlds under the Great Dome. Dome of Titans houses, there's only a few continents in there, but they're fucking vast, because they've got giants there, like proper giants, like fucking hundreds of meters tall. Then you've got Dome of Forgotten Gods, yeah. So they're all contained within their own cube, yeah. And then each world and each realm has also got its own cubes, yeah. So we're cubes within cubes, within cubes, within cubes. That's how it is, like cells, yeah. So and the whole thing works like an organism. The whole gateway itself works like an organism, works like a living organism, with the interaction between the people and the beings and all of the flora and fauna all interacts, and it's all. And when you get the parasites turn up, it's like when a cell goes cancerous. Yeah, a membrane will develop cancer. You've got parasites. We call them parasites, and cancer is caused by parasites. I digress. Sorry, what was I saying? Yeah, so the cells themselves on a gateway, they all interact and they work together in like a living organism. And I'm well digressing. What was I saying? Yeah. So at the end of each gateway, so they'll turn up, yeah, and they'll create it with a highly advanced technology, a firmament technology. They'll make a cube, and all physical life is contained within that cube. Now that cube, that vast, gigantic cube, is to stop the powerful electromagnetic waves destroying what they're just about to create inside that cube. Now, physical matter is brought into the cube and coalesced to form planets, flat, stable planes that are held in place by electromagnetism and frequencies. That's how Gateway 10 is sitting here, how it is. They've got a keel on the bottom so that they can't be knocked or flipped, and they're held in place by extraordinary. You ain't moving it. The planet is immovable. You can't move it. Even if something crashed into it, it's not moving anywhere. It's solid in situ, and it will stay there. Now, 2 of these gateways can be linked with a portal, yeah, through the naturally occurring wormhole, yeah. They can create a stargate at each end. We've got some on the planet, then you can create them. Now they will join the 2 vast, it could be vast distances, but gateways can then be interlinked. So a naturally occurring wormhole, which is the only naturally occurring thing in the universe, like I said before, one of them can have a gate at each end, and then you can use a Stargate to get to the other gateways, to get to another world. When you're in a world, yeah, you use portals to travel. And that you just open a portal with your mind, your telepathy, using the ether, you open a portal and go where you want to go. And it takes seconds to travel thousands of miles, but you'd only use a portal going to somewhere on your realm or on your immediate next couple of realms, you know. If we were, for instance, the whole world as it was, you would use that interworld travel, yeah? Sorry, not interworld. You would use a craft. If you wanted to go to another world, yeah, out of your two realms into another world, you use a craft. And all craft are time travel machines. They can all try and travel. It's one of the points of them is to try and travel. So it's like we were saying yesterday or the day before. How one of the reasons how this was won was with time travel, and that is because what happened was in 2012. This is fucking mad. In as late as 2012 is when Donald Trump was switched. So Donald Trump was a Luciferian child-killing paedophile, just like the rest of them. Killed as many kids as everybody else did, including his kids are child killers too. All his family are child killers. Everyone's a child killer. We were fucked, right? Listen, after Kennedy was taken out of the limelight in 1963, we were on our own. There wasn't a positive human in a position of power on this whole planet. There wasn't one positive human. We were absolutely fucked, and we would have been dead by now if it wasn't for some highly benevolent Soul Family ETs and some very clever people who basically in 2012 went back in time and took Trump from when he was probably still a baby or still a young kid, before he'd actually harmed anyone himself. Took him, yeah, age progressed him and took him forward into the future, put him back in 2012 as a 70-year-old man who knew what was going on, because he just spent the last fucking 70 odd years teaching him what's going on, and this part that he's going to be playing, what he'd just been up to. So they saved him, really, because so all through the 80s and 90s, Trump was sacrificing children, drinking blood, and just like everybody else is. He was doing all that, yeah? But then when he got taken out and replaced, that's why they didn't understand what had happened. So Trump was one of them, Clinton was meant to have won, and the fact that she didn't, they knew something was well up. Because they're like, hang on, we've stacked the voting machines, rigged it to fuck. We can't possibly fucking lose. And oh, bang. Yeah, they've lost. And they've all like, fuck. Wow, they've got him. Somehow they've got him. They knew that the GAA, like I say, in 2012, got Trump, took him back in time. Yeah. Probably gave him a little fucking holiday while they were at it, mate, to be honest, because he's got a lot of fucking things to do. So Trump's a good soul. Don't worry about Trump now. Yeah, don't worry about... When he says I used to be one of them, he's half meaning when he was a Knights Templar, yeah, because this loop, technically he didn't get to be a Satanist, because although he was a Satanist, they went back in time before he was a Satanist and took him out and then brought him around and put him back in 2012. Or sometime before 2016, yeah? So they took him out in 2012 and brought him back at some point before 2016. Probably brought him back in 2012, where they took him from. That makes sense, wouldn't it? They'd put him back around the exact moment they took him. Well, anyway, that's what happened. So this is probably, I'm just doing this in my head right now because I've not even thought about it, but you know these Mandela effects, yeah? This probably, I'll have to ask Christian about this, but this is probably why, yeah, some of these Mandela effect things are going off, because if people have been, like, it depends, maybe they went back and did change some shit to prove something now, you know, like you see that geezer that walks in, is it with a book with the Bernsteins, and he walks into the other room and it keeps glitching. I don't know if that's just a normal glitch in the Matrix, something completely different to do with the Matrix simulations, like we were saying before, how they're not supposed to line up, but when you see a stuck plane or a bird stuck in flight, that's when they've made them line up on purpose to show you. But this could be, the Mandela effects could be something to do with the time travel going backwards and forwards, because we don't have multiple dimensions. There's not multiple yous in other worlds doing the same, similar to what you're doing here. That doesn't happen. That's bullshit. Yeah, it's one of the spin-offs of quantum theory that they got wrong. That's not how it works. So what happens is we're all on one timeline. Yeah, you can go backwards and forwards in that timeline, but that timeline's one timeline, and it's doing that. It will forever cycle. Everything is in motion, right down to protons, neutrons, and electrons. Everything is spinning. Some things slowly, some things fast. It's all on the move. So time is looping, yeah. So time will always carry on doing the same thing. Eventually, after a long time, yeah, it comes back round again. So what happens is your future self is up to 30 years ahead of you. Your past self is up to 30 years behind you, and you're going round together with you in the middle, future you up here, past self here, and you're going round the time loop together. So what they've done, well, they got Trump, like I say, they got Trump, he'd been, like in 2012, who knows how many thousands of children that man must have killed to be that rich and famous and powerful. Well, anyway, they took him, like I say, before, they went back in time, took him probably when he was a kid, a baby, switched him out, brought him into the future. That's how he was able to use a pure soul for the takedown, because he hadn't done everything that he'd done. Yeah, that's fucking amazing, just that on its own, right? Yeah, well, I forgot what I was saying. Trump. Yeah, but anyway, so that's how Trump is good, and that's why there's a lot of confusion about, well, hang on, Trump's got a checkerboard floor in Mar-a-Lago. Hang on, Trump was seen wearing Masonic gear or hugging Michael Jackson or whatever. Trump was seen whatever. Yes, because he was a Luciferian child-killing paedophile. And then in 2012, he wasn't. He took him out of the loop and fucking crazy shit. So this is, people probably won't find this out necessarily on the EBS because it's way above most people, but they'll find this out when we get home. Of course they will. They'll meet Trump or the soul in him. Like I say, it's all a small village back home. It's not like you think. The universe, it's a well-documented place. Most things are known about it. It's not like, definitely on the gateways around us, it's all well known. You know, most people here help fucking build it, for fuck's sake. We just can't remember. You know what I mean? Because of the amnesia vortex and the mind wipes. But they have to do that. And they have to give, that's what I was saying earlier. The education system. So the Knights Templar and that brought out the banking. And that's when a lot of starseeds started coming in. A couple of thousand with Christian. Right back then. Because that's when it got bad for humans. It was like, oh no, they're going to be fucked rotten now. Because banking's coming out. Yeah, the fiscal currency and all that shit, fiat currency system. So that, and the birth certificate scam, which we all well know about, the birth certificate scam. So that's how they create a straw man. Yeah, like the Wizard of Oz straw man. The straw man is you. It's your name in block capitals. Capitis Diminutia Maxima is a dead Latin script used for like footnotes or things that are not part of a lawful document to be read in court, not to be considered within the contextual text of the document. Is capital letters. It's not to be read in context of anything because it doesn't exist. It's a dead dog fucking shit script, yeah? So when you put someone's name in block capitals, the person reading it, not versed in common law, doesn't know that doesn't apply to them, that isn't them. So they open the letter and they think, oh fucking hell, I've got to pay £249 at British Gas. Oh fucking hell. They've created joinder, they've opened the letter, they've read it and they've agreed, oh shit, yeah, I'm John Cartwright and yeah, that's me, oh well, better pay that. So you go off and pay it. Now, when they send you that, it's a presentment. It's not a bill. You think it's a bill. It might have bill on it. If it has, it's because it's a financial instrument. It's a bill, yeah, like a bill of sale, a bill of whatever, yeah. So a bill, like I say, you can turn into a promissory note. Any bill, if it says bill on it, or you can turn it into a promissory note. Yeah, even if it doesn't, you can still turn it into a promissory note. So there's ways to combat all of the bullshit that they give us now. We know all about. I wish I knew all this 10, 15 years ago. I'd be I'd be probably right into money and finance because I would have sussed it. So I know a few people that have, but they don't want to give any information out. But like I spent 4 years working on this, and I got really far, to be honest. I've done a lot of things in common law, loads of stuff. For not just for me, for loads of people, loads of different things. Got myself out of jail with it, done all sorts, and that's from the fucking cells. I'm quite proud of that, to be honest, because it's kind of impossible. You know, once you're on a recall and you're in the fucking police cells, you're going back to jail. There ain't no reason you're not. Unless you're me, and you managed to pull it off. Fuck knows how that happened, I'll tell you. I just came fluent with every single bit of common law information that was relevant that I'd ever heard. And it worked, because when they were squaring up to me with their body cams, all this stuff that I'm telling them, malfeasance, misfeasance, non-feasance in public office, aiding and abetting a treasonous act, unlawful arrest, unlawful detention, unlawful confiscation of property, all of these things I'm reeling off while I'm on camera with them. The custody sergeant upstairs or whatever, the office, whoever's in the office above who's got to deal with who's going to court in the morning, he's got to see that, and he's going to be thinking, fucking hell, we can't have him stand up in court and say that, we're all fucked. So it's not within his best interest for him to keep his job, to put me in front of a magistrate. So I ain't going back to jail anyway, even if I did get nicked. I'll be in the jail, I'll be in the cells 10 hours, 11 hours maximum, yeah? Well, 23.9 if they wanted to be pedantic, but you know, it wouldn't involve a recall because there's no way they can do that without getting themselves all nicked. For me to go in front of a magistrate, that motherfucker's going to jail. And I fucking promise you he is, because I ain't having it. Motherfucker's going to jail. You're not sitting there breaking the law, telling me I'm breaking the law when I ain't breaking the law and you're breaking the law. Nah, don't work like that. So anyway. They brought out the birth certificate scam after the banking scam got going, and then the education system, and then the pharmaceutical industry. Now these are all key points in their big takedown plan because they had to have everyone indoctrinated as fuck, all thinking about comets and asteroids and fucking deep space telemetry, and fucking keep them worried about cancer. It's alright, sorry, I got another call. Oh, fucking hell. Hang on. Still recording? Yeah. I should have put it on flight because now I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? Yeah. The education system. So, and Big Pharma. Now, all these things work hand in hand because you need the education system to bring out the indoctrination about why Big Pharma's good. You need the education system to tell everyone what the space is like. You need the education system to tell everyone everything. If you want to be educated, you go and do a course. Well, the people that own the course are the cabal. So whatever it is you're learning a course in, trust me, there's a 33rd degree Freemason designed it, and they know damn well what you are not to know and what you are to know. Yeah, and people saying about science, well, there's lots of replicatable stuff in science. There has to be, or you wouldn't believe any of it. Yeah, but all the really important stuff is kept out of sight, out of mind. It's kept out of the way. You're not supposed to find out, ever knowing about what that is. You're not supposed to know what quantum physics is. Quantum physics happens in your head. Quantum physics is your interaction with the ether. It's done via the pineal gland and your soul. Your soul communicates, and normally you're in contact with your soul all day long. Your soul's proper gutted, right? Mine is anyway, because me here now isn't synonymous with my soul back home, because I've got no access to my soul, because our spiritual apparatus has been virtually defunct. It's been downgraded and downsized, and it can't do what it was meant to. So your pineal gland is how you communicate with your soul, and your soul communicates, and your pineal gland, communicates with the ether. That's how manifestation happens. That's how manifestation, physical items manifest into your hand in real time, because you ordain it, because your soul wills it. Your pineal gland makes it happen. Yeah, because you can be trusted, because you're in a vibrating of a frequency of unconditional love and empathy. Basically, you can be trusted not to be a cunt. Yeah, because give that ability to someone here in a ghetto in Kenya or wherever, London or a housing estate. You know what I mean? Look what's going to happen. So when the species got to a point where they can be trusted not to be cunts, yeah, they're given abilities like this, and that's what we all had. So none of us were cunts before this happened. So that's why there's a kind of amnesty going on between people that have done bad stuff, because it's not what you would have done back home. And it's all the parasitic, the way they've gone about it. If there's children that are having trouble at home or maybe showing signs of violence or aggression because of what's happened to them, they'll get hit with frequencies. The greys will turn up and they'll be like, because everyone's monitored closely from the moment you're born to the moment you die. Up until 2017, 18, you had at least one negative ET with you at all times, a grey, and at least one positive soul family member in light body at all times. When you've been knocking one out in a bush around the corner, you haven't been on your own. You've had several people watching you, and your soul family have been, not that you've been knocking one out in a bush that often, but you know what I mean? You haven't had private me time. You've always been under observation, because we live in a sealed system, and your soul family have been worried fucking sick about you, and the ETs want to know what you're up to. Like, what's he knocking one out about? Could we get him into bestiality? Maybe. Let's go. That's why they're watching you. They want you to experience and to go through and to have negative thoughts, negative emotions, strange things going through your mind that you want to do, and they'll make that happen more. They'll make an example of you. They'll get you and they'll coax you. You'll get probably a demon turn up and he'll be like whispering in your ear. The devil on your shoulder, the angel on the other shoulder. Soul family, ancient demons. That's what they're doing, trying to convince you. Your soul family trying to convince you to do good things, to have nice thoughts, and the demons trying to convince you to harm yourself, harm other people, whatever. So long as loosh is generated from your actions, the demon can give a fuck. The demon would rather you go out of a sledgehammer and start killing people. That would be ideal for the demon. Because I'm looking for the camera here, I'm trying to find it. Where is it there? That would be ideal for the demon, because then that's Megaloosh. That sounds like a place in Spain, doesn't it, Megaloosh? So, but anyway, totally forgot what I was saying. I was talking about the cube before, but then I digressed to whatever it was I was just talking about, which I can't remember. Hang on. That's what I'm saying. Knights Templar. And the education system is there to make everything happen. So the banking system was brought out first, yeah. So they get everyone into money, yeah, into this, into that, working it out, let it set its roots in big time, and it did, yeah, and it got really bad, and now we're at the end of that. You know, I think I finished that bit off, didn't I, about the banking system? Oh yeah, let me just say, there's no BRICS, right? Someone asked me that the other day. Well, what about BRICS then? There's no BRICS. There's no quantum initiative. So I heard as well, a quantum initiative. Trump discusses a quantum initiative. There's loads of papers being written on it. There's loads of paperwork being written about all sorts. Lots of people have read a lot of stuff, yeah, and there ain't no truth in any of it. Why is the quantum initiative any different? It is a load of bollocks, basically. There's no BRICS, Britain, Russia, India, China, whatever. There's none of that, yeah, because there's no money in fifth density. There's no quantum financial system in fifth plus density. There isn't no money. People can't seem to get that in their heads. There isn't any money. So what would be a use of a fiat currency system or any currency system or a blockchain, a fucking Bitcoin? What would be the point? You'd be the only person in the universe to have it. If there was a Bitcoin in the universe, that would be you, be the only person that had one. So you've got 100 million Bitcoin. What are you going to spend it on? Because there's no shops. There's nothing for sale. You can't get finance on a UFO. They're free. They give them to you for nothing. Yeah? That's what happens back home. There isn't money. Yeah? You don't even fucking swap stuff. Yeah? We're way advanced of swapping stuff. No one says, I'll grow you 3 tomatoes if you grow me a pineapple. No. You give me, yeah, I'll have fucking 200 pineapples. I'll have a fucking million pineapples. Yeah? And keep the oranges. And how do you like them tomatoes? Do you know what I mean? There's no, you don't need to buy water, electricity, food, clothes. No? People make clothes and you go and fucking, yeah? People swap stuff and that, but you're not going to, you don't go to a market and pay with anything. You don't go with pay on your watch. You don't go and pay with a credit card. There isn't a bank. There's no banks. There's nowhere to, if you had money, there's nowhere to put it. There isn't a fucking blockchain system in fifth density. No, there's the ether, which is totally different. But all of this is third density. All of these things is all third density. Trappings and bits and bobs and all to do with money and finance and religion. Yeah, all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Yeah, it's all bullshit. All you would have had is a FEMA camp. A FEMA camp. And like Christian said the other day, it cracked me up. The only humanitarian project you'd be doing was painting a FEMA camp fence. Bang on, bruv. That's basically it. That's what you'd be doing. Your humanitarian project would be painting the inside of a FEMA camp. Battleship Grey. Yeah, that's the only humanitarian projects that were lined up for anyone that thought they were going to be one when the QFS comes out, because it ain't going to come out. There isn't going to be a BRICS. We're going to go into lockdown in a minute, hopefully, very soon. Yeah, but yeah. So listen, basically, we were mugged off, big time. There isn't anything that you learnt in school or learnt about religion. Doesn't matter that you learnt it when you were 5 and that's what your nan believed in, so you're believing in it. It don't matter. Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's not true and it's irrelevant. Like I say, there's no gods, there's no money, there's no finance, there's no religions, there's no bullshit. There's no toxins, there's no pollutants, there's no chemicals, yeah? It's called utopia. It's actually better. Going back, what's going to happen in a minute is actually better than what we would call utopia. The most amazing place that you could ever imagine, yeah? Beyond utopia, where we're going in a minute is better than that. There's no money. There's no money. There's no currency. There's no blockchain. There's no government, there's no road, no schools, no tax, no police, yeah, no NHS, no big pharma, no toxins, pollutants, nothing. There's nothing like that. There's no wheels, there's no tarmac, there's no roads. People getting this? There's no roads. You know what I mean? I don't know how else to say it. Them headphones turned up today. First batch, I got 15 come in. So kids ones that I'll be giving to kids. So lots of kids. I'll get some more as well soon. I'll get another fucking bundle. So yeah, people will think I'm mad giving them 1,000,000%. But listen, They'll know. Listen, when the fucking air raid, it's not just the air raid sirens, it's the fucking general noise. It's going to be well noisy for a long time. All right, maybe not for the exact, when most people have seen the EBS a few times, they'll increase the chaos. Yeah, they're going to make it as really bad. People are going to think this is a fucking proper war because it's going to look like it. They're going to be using our shitty equipment. So our latest B-2 stealth bombers or whatever the latest technology we've got, I mean, that you wouldn't. One UFO would take out every single weapon on the fucking face of the earth. You know what I mean? One UFO, one shitty little one, made by fucking IKEA. One IKEA UFO, yeah, would take out every single bit of military tech that we had on this realm. Because our technology here is absolutely shit. Yeah, but you're going to see a lot of rockets and ships and, like, not ships, what do you call them? Fighter pilots and all that. It's going to be all helicopters and all that shit going on. It's going to look like a real war. People don't realise because they look out the window and it looks nice out there and a bit chilly, but the cat's still walking down the middle of the road and someone, doing whatever. But that's all going to change in a few days. Yeah, maybe a couple of weeks. Like I say, maybe it won't be exactly on the 5th of November. Maybe it won't be on the 9th. Maybe it will be tomorrow. Maybe it will be 2 weeks later. But it doesn't matter, right? It's coming in a minute. It's coming before Christmas. Yeah. It would make sense, being Guy Fawkes night, being the anonymous mask, the face they wear is Guy Fawkes night. It would make sense if there is an EBS lockdown on the 5th of November. For me, that would make a lot of fucking sense. Yeah, because it's the US general election that we're not supposed to be seeing another one of. Yeah, happens to be Guy Fawkes night, the same night, as everyone knows. Guy Fawkes was blowing up the Houses of Parliament. Actually, that was the cover story, because what actually happened was that was they got stitched up. And Guy Fawkes didn't even do that. They wanted to put him in jail for it. So they thought, all right, take a few barrels of gunpowder down there. They planted a whole load of gunpowder, made it look like, left Guy Fawkes' glove there or something, you know what I mean? And then went and nicked them all for it because they knew that they were planning something because they knew about adrenochrome and what the government were up to, So that's why I think, Christian doesn't. He won't do dates no more. I fucking am. I'm going home on the fucking 5th. Listen, not going home on the 5th. I want to be locked down on the 5th. Lock me the fuck down on the 5th. For fuck's sake. Listen. It's getting long, mate, isn't it? But, yeah, look, that's an hour there. I better go because I'm meeting someone later. So, nice one, people. Big love and speak soon.